I'm trying to understand your answers to this committee. Let's start with the workers' dignity question, because your truthfulness under oath is surely, I notice my friends across the way now are utterly uninterested in any organization you've been a part of. They're suddenly utterly uninterested in things you wrote in the past. They're utterly uninterested in who you give money to. That wasn't the case just a few years ago, but be that as it may, surely they're interested in your truthfulness. I have now counted, just as I've sat here today, 4 separate answers by you, all of them conflicting as to what exactly was your relationship with workers' dignity. So let's just get this nailed down. First of all, did you disclose your relationship with workers' dignity to this committee? Don't look at the chairman, look at me.
I'm not sure that I included that. I don't remember, Senator.
Oh, I think you do. The answer is no. You did not disclose it to this committee.
As government proceedings, confirmation hearings are an essential part of the process through which nominees for federal positions, particularly judicial nominees, are scrutinized by lawmakers. These hearings provide an opportunity for senators to assess a nominee's qualifications, integrity, and suitability for the role they have been appointed for. One such example of this intense scrutiny can be seen in the passage from a confirmation hearing, where a nominee, likely someone being considered for a federal judicial position, faces pointed and vigorous questioning from members of a Senate committee. In this excerpt, the nominee is being grilled on several key issues, primarily focusing on alleged discrepancies between their testimony and their past associations. The senators accuse the nominee of providing contradictory answers regarding their involvement with an organization called Workers' Dignity, a group that some senators characterize as radical due to its controversial political stances. The senators press the nominee for clarity on their role within this group, suggesting that the nominee may have lied or misrepresented their level of participation. Specifically, they highlight what they claim are shifts in the nominee's statements, first denying any involvement with the group, then admitting to a more extensive advisory role, and later revising the timeline of their engagement. Another central issue raised is the nominee's substantial political contribution to a candidate named Odessa Kelly, a local political figure who has made inflammatory statements, including calling members of the committee Satanists and endorsing violence. The senators are particularly concerned about the nominee's financial support for Kelly, questioning whether such a donation signals agreement with Kelly's extreme views or whether it was made for personal, non-political reasons.
Then you told Senator Grassley, I've never represented that group. Then you told Senator Lee, next, that you had indeed advised them, and that you'd advised them as a member of a legal advisory board. You said 10 years ago, right? Then you told Senator Cruz that, in fact, you told Senator Lee you'd advised them briefly. You told Senator Cruz, actually, you'd advised them for 3 years. Then you told Senator Durbin that it wasn't 10 years ago, it was 15 years ago. So what is it exactly? You didn't disclose your association with this radical group to the committee. You're currently listed now, your own bio lists you as a legal advisor to the Workers' Dignity Group from 2013 to the present. To the present. The Tennessee Bar Association cited your work with this group for your nomination. So what is the story? When did you start working for Workers' Dignity?
Senator, more than a decade ago, for 2 or 3 years, I served on a legal advisory committee or board.
So you gave them legal advice.
We were helping them set up as a nonprofit.
So you represented them. So you lied to Senator Grassley earlier when he explicitly asked you, did you do any legal work? And you said no. In fact, you served on a legal advisory board. That's your testimony now. Correct?
Senator, I served on this board.
On a legal advisory board, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you lied to Senator Grassley here under oath. What else have you lied about? Workers' Dignity has condemned Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestine. They have said that Israel is engaged in ethnic cleansing. Do you agree with that?
No, Senator.
How can I believe you? You just lied under oath a moment ago to Senator Grassley. You've lied to us up and down on this committee. I mean, this is a serious problem, Ms. Campbell. I have to say, I've never seen a witness, never, in 5 years in this committee, sit here and lie to us and change the story person to person. Why are you doing it? What is it? Why are you afraid to tell the truth about workers' dignity? Why have you lied to this committee? Why didn't you disclose it? Why'd you lie to Senator Grassley? Why have you changed your story every time you're asked?
The nominees' answers to these questions, particularly regarding their awareness of Kelly's controversial views, further fueled the senator's suspicions of dishonesty. The overall tone of the questioning reveals a deep concern among the senators about the nominees' truthfulness and whether they have adequately disclosed their associations and political actions to the committee. The senators accuse the nominee of failing to be transparent, citing several occasions where the nominee's testimony appears inconsistent. There is an underlying tension throughout the exchange, as the senators suggest that the nominee's shifting narrative undermines their credibility, which in turn raises serious questions about their suitability for a high-level judicial role. This moment in the hearing underscores the critical importance of integrity, truthfulness, and transparency in the confirmation process for judicial nominees, who are expected to uphold the law impartially and serve as models of honesty and fairness. Ultimately, the committee's concerns over the nominees' credibility center on whether these discrepancies reflect a deliberate attempt to conceal controversial associations or a fundamental lack of transparency. With the federal bench being a position of immense responsibility, the senators emphasize that the integrity and qualifications of nominees must be beyond reproach. As such, the exchanges in this passage illustrate the high stakes of confirmation hearings, where a nominee's past actions and associations are subject to intense scrutiny to ensure they are fit to serve in one of the most important legal positions in the nation.
Senator, I have not lied to you today. I've tried to represent my participation with this group.
What you've done is you've misrepresented your participation with this group. You apologize to Senator Cruz for any confusion. You've created the confusion. Deliberately. Let's talk about something else that you've created confusion for. The biggest political donation that you have ever made is to Odessa Kelly, this radical candidate who said that members of this committee are Satanists, who endorsed violence. Why did you give money to Odessa Kelly? Over $1,000. I mean, that's not nothing. That may be nothing to you. That's not nothing to most people. Why did you give money, the most money you've ever given, to this person?
Senator, Miss Kelly lives in my neighborhood. She's one of my neighbors.
And you agreed with her views?
No, on those views that you've read, I don't agree with them.
Oh, I haven't read any of them. I'm just asking you. Do you agree with her views? I mean, you gave her more money than anybody else. Your governor, your state senator, your attorney general, you gave her the most.
I do not agree with all of her views, no, Senator.
Well, which ones do you agree with? Can you name one?
Senator, I know that she is my neighbor, and I'm a neighborly person.
Oh, I see. You're a neighborly person. Well, I tell you this. You have represented to this committee that you didn't know what Odessa Kelly said and the frankly outrageous things that she said and did. You said you didn't know anything about workers' dignity. You lied to us about your association with that group. You said you didn't know anything about the Tennessee Immigrant Refugee Rights Coalition, who thanks you personally in their introduction. You said you didn't know anything about that. I mean, either all of these people are liars or you are, Ms. Campbell. It's one or the other. It's quite a pattern. Maybe they all are. But given what you've told us under oath today, I think the answer is you are. And for that reason, you are utterly unqualified to sit on the federal bench.
Senator's time has expired. Thank you, Ms. Campbell, and thank you, Judge Lopez. Your